Take 3.
Relationship video. Take 3. All right.
What's up, you guys?
What's up, you guys? Welcome back.
Ooh, I hate you.
Oh, I know, every time.
So hi, welcome to today's video.
Please.
Do something. That's how we're gonna start the video.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Hi.
Hey.
If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Jess. This is my boyfriend, fiance, whatever you wanna call him, the Reese.
I'm the Reese.
He makes me look good.
Yeah.
So in today's video, we're going to talk about our relationship. We're gonna open up about our struggles and what we've been doing to make our relationship better. And
to do with my hands while I'm sitting here.
you just put it down.
Yeah.
This is not the usual content that I film on this channel. My channel is primarily, prison, mental health, addiction, my crazy life. So I do want to start this video off by saying it's not easy to be transparent about our relationship on the internet. And we're gonna get into that. So please keep your comments kind, or you can get the out. If you wanna follow me on any other social media platform, TikTok, Instagram, Patreon.
It's $2. It's only ever gonna be $2.
He's so cute. I'm hiding from the sun. All of that is linked down below, as well as my vlog channel. Go subscribe to that.
Smash the subscribe button. Smash it. Put it on it. I mean, put it
out. All right, let's kick this thing off. Quick little recap right here. We have filmed previous videos. Earlier in the year, we announced that we had broken up and gotten back together. We have been in a relationship since December 2013.
13.
Whew.
13's the year, yep.
Wow.
So I'd like to say that they were all good, but they haven't been.
No, not when two Virgos are dating.
No, they've not all been good. Yeah. So there's some other videos about us breaking up, getting back together, talking about OnlyFans, should we do it?
We are not, oh my God.
Should we do it? Should we not,
I've heard that most guys in relationships, I see it all over social media, I can't speak for most guys, but I keep seeing that guys don't want their girlfriends to do OnlyFans, and you're the freaking opposite. You're like, when are we getting that OnlyFans
Get that OnlyFans money. Daddy needs a new car. Yeah.
I can't stand you.
Man, I am who I am.
We've had some struggles in our relationship. And like I said, we broke up and got back together earlier in this year. And how would you say we're doing now?
I think we're good. Am I about to get outed on this video? I think we're doing good. I think we're doing better. I mean, you could recap some of that. I mean, you get busy, and after a period of time, our careers moved on. We have 2 kids, 2 dogs, and we're both ambitious, and you just start living with a roommate. And sometimes it's a roommate you're not even really excited about, and that kind of happened, and ultimately,
thanks.
well,
it's just all romance.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it doesn't happen at once. You know what I mean? But that's where it got to, and ultimately we have to kind of work through some of those things, and we were transparent about them and talking about where we think we went wrong, what we think we could do better, and I think we're in a better spot now. Absolutely. Yeah, we're doing some cool stuff.
When we first met, we really weren't representatives. We were very real, very transparent with each other. We had some pretty substantial goals that we were both trying to reach. I was trying to get custody of Micah. We both worked at the same job, and we were just so grateful to have some time in recovery and 2 decent jobs. Yeah. That was really... The
bills were paid. We knew that the food was, gonna be in the fridge, and that was it. We were cool with that.
There wasn't a lot of extra.
There wasn't. I mean, like I said, our life now versus what it started at is drastically different. And it's because we've put in a lot of hard work, and we've been determined, and I think we've both been relentlessly focused. But sometimes you get stuck on that groove and you forget to work on the relationship groove, and that's what happened. At first, we were really good. I mean, like I said, I think we had a lot in common. Like I said, we were both had very lofty goals. We had a lot in common with our past and some of the things that we were going through. So it was, it's easily to be relatable and have conversations around those things. But, I don't think what happened to us is uncommon. I think it happens with a lot of people. Yeah.
you know, as we started to be, you know, get more successful, there was a lot of pressure and stress with that I don't think a lot of people talk about either. You know, you kept getting promotion after promotion. You took over essentially a failing office up here and had to turn it all around.
We relocated, 11 hours away, where neither of us have family. We don't have support, so, and then everybody that with, kids understands what that can be like, and it's tough even when you do have family, because you're focused on your kids, you're focused on your career, and there's just sometimes you don't have a lot of time or energy to focus on the thing that you started with, right?
There's a lot of extra to give.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I don't think, we probably need to reference, neither of us had an actual relationship in our life.
In recovery.
In recovery, yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of people I was hanging out with, I was smashing around with when I was doing drugs for, most of my adult life. But
we're gonna move to the table. It's driving me nuts.
Okay. Now that we've moved, it's always really hard when we adjust, like mid video. Like, you're used to this and I'm not. I always forget where I left off or try to pick back up.
Oh, you were smashing around.
Oh, I was smashing around, yeah. So when I was smashing around, I didn't have any real relationships. I'd only ever had one other female that lived with me, and that was, I was married for a time to a girl I barely knew, and I was, very deep into my addiction. And that was the only other experience I had with a girl that lived with me. I had a couple girls that were passing through, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I don't think that neither of us knew how to maintain a healthy relationship with a partner, right? So, and
as careful as we were in the beginning of our relationship, we struggled. So we didn't move in together until we had been dating for like a year.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how to live with a man. How do you live with a man?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sober and clean, you know what I mean? Like, not, yeah. Yeah,
that was definitely, and we were both very aware of that in the beginning.
We had a lot of really honest, frank, conversations about where we were at as individuals, what we were trying to accomplish. Like I said, we skipped right past the representative phase, but I don't think we got no time for that. Yeah. So, but that was probably what we both needed. It's probably what started the relationship and accelerated it the rate it did. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then, got really hard, especially with moving up here with 2 small kids, and it's been a lot on our relationship. And over the years, we put less and less and less time and work into this relationship. Mm-hmm. And I did see some criticism in a previous video where someone said relationships shouldn't be work. You're right. In the first year, it should be the honeymoon phase.
Yeah. Only people that have been dating for
a year.
Yeah. We just had our 1-month anniversary. It doesn't feel like work to me. It didn't either for us. Thanks, Karen. After 7 or 8 years, and you both have a
2 kids, you work 80 hours a week.
Yeah. I mean, it's work. Because it's work and it takes effort. And if it was easy, everybody could do it, right? Yeah. And that's why you see all these people complaining about relationship problems or they have all the things. It's like, but what were you doing? What did what were you doing?
I do want to say here that a lot of people, they get into this trap of comparison, especially with social media. Yeah. They see the Instagram highlight reel and they're like, this couple is so perfect.
Yeah.
That's not us.
Yeah.
We're not perfect.
People's online life is curated.
Yeah.
Big time.
For sure. And that, even though I know that, to me, I still fall into that trap. Like, why can't we be as cute as them? Why can't we do cute TikToks like them? Like, they look so happy. And I have to remind myself, Jess, well, this is a 15-second TikTok. Of course they're gonna look great in this one video, but life is not perfect. Life is not TikTok. So I think social media and our phones play a huge role in us being, divided, not just Reese and I, but multiple couples. Yeah. So something that I have been trying to be very aware of is my time on my phone. Because I work on my phone, it was always like I have to be on it. No, you don't. So on the weekends, I have been trying to turn my phone off, and that has been really helpful.
It's been good. It's been good.
Yep. My kids are here. He's here. What emergency could possibly happen? My life is here. My whole world is here. So.
And I used to be the person that brought work home a lot too.
Yeah.
And I still try to avoid it, because I was still very much a person that, work was my whole life, and I could easily fall into that workaholic mentality. I'm very much so, I like knowing what I'm doing. I like being hyper focused on just a few things rather than multitasking. And I was just all about work. I was all about rebuilding my life, rebuilding my career. And, I saw something that kind of made me think, and I try really hard not to bring, work home now. And, I try to reserve that for, if we're really going to have a talk about work, I make sure I set the stage so we have a 30-minute block of period so we know when to cut it off, right? That, at work, you're replaceable. It doesn't matter who you are, you're replaceable. If you leave or something happens, they'll fill your job. You're not replaceable at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have to remember that. So, yeah, it's good.
I love you.
Love you too. Because I say cool stuff like that.
I say cool, wise things. So we're both very passionate about what we do.
Yeah.
And when we're having a rough, and when we're having a rough day, that stress and that tension will bleed over onto the other person's plate. But for years, it was like I was a stay-at-home mom and a full-time student. So when Reese came home, I was like, how was your day with the grown-ups? Was it great? What's going on in the world? Oh my goodness. It was ridiculous. And now that I have, 9 jobs, it's a lot of pressure. So for a minute we flipped that, where Reese would talk about work and that stress, and then I would talk about work and that stress. So our relationship has definitely changed. In terms of what we're doing now to help work on the communication, put time and energy into our relationship, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Putting in that OnlyFans work. I got to get my plug in again, So
there is no OnlyFans. We're not, no shade to anyone that does it. Get that money. I'm too awkward and I'm too weird. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Okay, so since we're not going to be bonding over OnlyFans anytime soon, let's talk about the other things that we've been doing.
Can't stand you.
We've both been trying to focus on specifically setting up time that we are going to do things. And, I think some of this, and I don't want this to sound wrong or how this is going to come out, because, when we first started out, I said we didn't have much, and we both, we didn't have dishes. We didn't have dishes when we met, right?
That's true.
And, as we've gotten more successful and we've been earning more, we have never really been big spenders. We've always been big savers, and tried to be very good stewards of our money, and almost in fear that if I spend it, it won't come back, right? Because when you lose everything and you have to hit the reset button on your life, that's the way you think. And we never even enjoyed the money we were working so hard to make. You know what I mean? Yeah, we can go out to dinner. We can go do a few things. We can have a weekend in the city. You know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to do more of. You know what I mean? We got that Chili's money. We can go out. We can have that Applebee's. Hit that upgrade.
So cute, dude. Yes, we are so blessed now that we can do those things. But I also just want to say here, I've lost everything multiple times too, over and over. Cops kicked in my door and I lost everything many times. So when you start from zero, when I got out of prison, I had sweatpants and shower shoes. I had nothing. So when you start from that, and then you become successful years later, you don't really know what to do with that. So I was always in fear that I could lose everything again, and it's something that I have to consciously work on. You earn this money the real way. No one's going to take it from you. It's okay. You can splurge a little bit.
So, Jessica put together the Bears game. We went to a Bears game. We've been living up here for 3 years and never gone to a game. We're trying to go to the city, on the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, and I'm trying to do a better job of playing a more important role of putting together things instead of just saying, you can use my card or I'll pay for half and you do all the work. Those are challenging,
Let me just say, that made me violently mad. Yeah, I'll pay for that if you want to go do that, or no, plan something for me. I don't care what it is. Yeah. I don't care if it's taco trucks and a movie in the truck.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm so low maintenance, but if you put in a little bit of effort, I'm going to be
it's even small things Jessica sets her own schedule, and I'm very fortunate at work that I'm flexible because, I have an office here that I'm responsible for, but I have open time. I would just never take a lunch. I'd just stay at work. Every now and then we're like, hey, do you want to have lunch together? You know what I mean?
That's a big deal.
Even if I just come home and we have lunch here, We don't have to go anywhere.
And you don't have to spend a lot of money to have date nights. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of date nights at the house. So I love charcuterie board date night because I feel like every meal you should just have a lot of options.
She wants like a grown-up Lunchable buffet, and then we just watch a movie, or we've actually done better with trying to have a show that we both commonly watch instead of just me watching whatever I want and then you watching whatever you want on your phone.
And the thing with that is I don't like TV a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot of things can keep my attention. So my attention span is kind of short. And if I don't like a show, or he starts the show before I sit down, I don't know what's going on, and I completely lose focus on it. So we're trying to do better with starting shows just to have something to do with each
something
other.
hey, when you sit down, after because we're really good about, I come home and we have dinner as a family at this table with the kids. How's everybody's day? But then after that, it's nice to say, do you want to watch our show? You know what I mean? Like, so things like that, you try to find more common ground. And I think before we had no common ground. We were both, I think, driven and focused, and we had the same goals, but we were running on parallel tracks. There was like nothing we weren't on at all.
That brings me to our sex life.
What up? So we're gonna get on that OnlyFans, yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
We, pre-breakup, we were not having a lot of sex.
Not having a lot.
And you have to think about it. You have to think about it like this. We both worked like 60 hours a freaking week a piece.
I get up at 4 a.m.
I'm too tired for that. I just want to go to sleep,
Yeah.
So in the beginning, first year of our relationship, it was
we were
poppin'.
working like 9 to 4. I mean, we didn't have anything to do. We had one child, no dogs. So
we didn't have Micah at first.
Oh yeah, we didn't. So we were popping them springs, several times a day.
And it might be kind of awkward to talk about it, but I think it's important if we're going to talk about our relationship to talk about the physical stuff too.
Absolutely, because it's important.
Yeah,
it's important.
Even something as small as like Reese putting his hand on my leg, like just hugging me at the end of the day, and Reese is a very cold and distant person anyway.
Yeah.
And he's not naturally very spontaneous or very communicative. So we've had to work together with that. And at first when we got together, I was like, oh my God, I love that about him, that he's not gonna be hanging all over me when I'm trying to straighten my hair.
Yeah. She's like, I don't need a man that holds my hand or is clinging on me.
Like PDA.
I'm like, sweet, because that's what you're getting with me.
So I didn't communicate with him. If you hear any weird grunting sounds, it's the bully, it's the dog.
It's the dog.
So I didn't do a good job communicating my feelings with him. I didn't tell him what I need. I didn't tell him how my feelings changed over time. Like once I fell in love with him, I wanted him to be all over me because I was obsessed with him. But I did not communicate that with him at all.
Yeah.
So
I was still operating with the same rules that we started with, right? So, and I thought that was kosher. I mean, and I think your needs change as you grow, you get older.
Yeah.
And I think
who's older?
Yeah. And sometimes you have to communicate that, right? I think that we've done a better job when we talk about communication where we've had some signals crossed. I'll use this as an example that, I'd come home from work sometimes and work is very draining for me. And communication, like I said, your needs change and being transparent about what you're thinking and why you're doing certain things. I use an example that work is very draining for me, and because I'm naturally an introvert and I work with a lot of people, and it takes a lot out of me. So when I come home, we have dinner with the kids and then we watch a show. Sometimes at the end of the day, I just want an hour. You know what I mean? And so Jessica would put the kids to sleep and go up to bed. Well, she's been alone all day and with nobody to talk to, nothing online, children. She wants somebody to talk to. So she wants somebody to talk to, and I wanted nobody to talk to me. Mm-hmm. So we would split. Nobody communicated with the other person what the needs were. Yeah. She's like, "You're just down there ignoring me." I'm like, "Not really. I'm down here, kind of just staring at a TV on mute because I don't want anything going on for a minute." So and we were doing that, and it was a source of tension for us. But we didn't actually communicate. This is what you need, and so. I'm not saying that, one or the other got their needs met without there's compromise. Hey, if it's, a couple nights I want to sit down here, that's fine. But I make sure, all right, I've gotten my needs fulfilled. For the next few nights, I come up to bed and we watch a show, we hang out together. You know what I mean? That's what it is. So that's an example of better communication.
When I tell you guys, I was not good at communicating my feelings, and I've never really been good at it, if I'm being honest. I can communicate anger.
Yeah.
That I can communicate, but communicating feelings of maybe insecurity or not feeling like wanted or whatever, I'm not good at that ever. Because in my old life, if I expressed any kind of emotion, it was, other than anger, it was a sign of weakness. And I worked in an industry that was mostly men. That's what the drug world is. And I could not ever be emotional, couldn't ever show my feelings. So that's been hard in my recovery to kind of work through. You know, I don't want to just show anger. That's not good. So I'm working on it, and I have made videos about my anger. So that has been, you know, something that I've worked through in my recovery. And I have learned with Reese, it's better to be just blunt and to the point and tell him what I need. I think women naturally kind of anticipate needs, but men need to know what the needs are. Is that fair?
It is.
So it's
paint by numbers with men.
I'm very good at anticipating needs.
Yeah.
You know, if your body wash is low, I'm gonna go get you some body wash, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm really good at that kind of stuff, like the little things.
Yeah, I said, men are simple. It's paint by numbers.
Yeah.
You know, it is for me for sure. Like, you know, we were watching Sinbad's got a great episode on that. Yeah. So anyway, stand-up special.
Romance? What? You want me to fix the screen door? Hold your hand. What do you want me to do? I got it. You know? Yeah.
Now, unless there's anything else you want to say, I would like to go to questions.
Sure. Question it up.
Where do I find myself a Reese?
I have a cousin.
Yeah.
I do have a cousin. Got no brothers.
How do you guys plan date nights with 2 kids? Great question. I make my friend babysit. I have a sitter that I got from care.com. She's great. Yeah. She's amazing with them. So we have a couple of sitters that work with us. And if we can't get a sitter, then we do a date night at home. Mm-hmm. You know, put the kids to bed, light some candles, make a dinner. Super simple. And just that little bit of effort goes a long way.
You really got to do that. Like I said, if you put the kids to bed a little early, like I said, box off some time, rent a movie, watch a show, have a little meal or a little snack or a charcuterie board, if you will. It's good.
Do you have different parenting styles? If so, has that affected your relationship?
That's a good question. I don't think we ever had the parenting discussion, did we?
Probably not.
I think we missed that. Well, we weren't family focused on the first of our relationship. It was like, are you going to come home and do cocaine?
Get kid back.
Yeah.
Get kid back. For me, the only complaint I have with your parenting style is that you're the fun one that gets to say yes all the time. And I'm like, no, they can't have cake before dinner. So you're a girl dad. Yeah. So you just want to spoil them.
And parenting.
Such a softie.
You know, I think and this topic is we could expand on this forever because the girls will get older, things change, right? Yep. When they're younger, they're smaller, it's easy. I'm kind of the authoritarian when, you know, the foot is down. You know, when dad puts the foot down, like I'm the guy that has to put the foot down. Yeah, the foot is down. The foot is down. You know what I mean? So when it absolutely has to get done, you know, there's no more eating in the living room. You know what I mean? If I say it and I declare it a rule, they'll listen to me. They won't make me repeat it. You know, Jessica has to repeat it all the time. You know what I mean? But if I decide that, you know, Dad says this is the rule, you know, they'll listen. But you know, I think
congratulations.
I think it works, and I get to be the fun one most of the time. So
I thought I was going to be the fun one because I'm cool. You know, I was like the cool aunt and.
Probably need to talk about, you know, some bigger discussions on how we're going to parent as they get older. You know, now that they're both in school, Micah's getting a little older, and, you know, you're going to reach that age where when they're small, all they need is approval of their parents, right? And as they start getting to go into school and they're socializing and get older, now approval from their peers becomes important. And that's a big transition. So
that is tough. You know, I firmly believe in gentle parenting, and I can do a whole video on that. I know you guys asked me. So yeah, I believe in gentle parenting. No physical violence, no physical force.
I can't even remember when the last time one of them stood in the corner, to be honest with you. We probably spoil our children. You know, we do.
What?
Yeah.
No.
But I think we've done a good job because anytime we leave them with other adults or other people, and I hope people aren't churching us up, but it seems pretty consistent. People always tell us our kids are really well behaved. They have really good manners. Like
they're very kind.
Yeah, they're very kind.
You know, that is what is most important to me. Are they kind? Are they respectful?
Yeah.
And they really are. so far. I might mess them up eventually. Y'all have a wedding date set. We will not publicly announce our wedding date specifically because we shared the venue and people have already threatened to crash it.
Oh, wow.
Y'all can try. It's a room full of felons. So.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
And this guy. Does Reese also partake in smoking schmeed?
In the schmeed? Yes, but not nearly what somebody might anticipate. I think I might hit the schmeed like twice a month.
Or take an edible.
Yeah, an edible, like, you know.
Especially if we're going to very public and crowded places.
Yep.
He'll take, an edible, or flying. Travel's a big source of tension for him.
Yeah.
So with his PTSD.
Yeah, it helps, you know what I mean? But yeah, so that's about it. And I'm definitely more of an advocate for it from a mental health perspective and in its benefits than I would have been previously without Jessica, for sure. You know what I mean? So it's not that I'm like anti-weed. I just never thought I can use this. I never thought you can use this constructively to cope with PTSD and other things that make life challenging, right? So,
yeah. How do you feel about my use?
It's cool. I mean, like I said, I think you use it in the way that, has been prescribed and the way you understand it. I think you use it as a tool in your toolbox, but there's times I see you that you don't smoke quite a bit, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things that I think, having a really good understanding of it is what we've done well here. And I think, for you, that's because you rubbed off on me with that. But yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm a proponent. It's helped you a lot.
I mean, they literally saved my life, but people think I'm like Snoop Dogg up here.
Like if I came home and like, and you were in, on sweats on the couch, like, hitting the 4-footer or something, I'd be like, yo, we got a problem. We're going to have to talk.
Hello? Are you okay? How do you not get angry over small things?
That's a tough question.
I think individually, we both have to work on that. And I think, I'll just speak for me personally, I try to remind myself, will this matter in 5 years?
Yeah.
And then I can kind of talk myself off the anger ledge.
Yeah. And it's hard because, like anything, you got to pick your spots, right? And I mean, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? You know what I mean? Like, and it's, hey.
So you're right all the time?
Yeah,
you want to fight?
I'm just saying, like, and it can be very easy when you've had a fight about a large item, a top shelf topic, and there's a source of tension. The little things become more amplified, right? And both of us, being Virgos and our personalities, have a very quick lift to our
zero to prison
to our position. So a small topic, if we don't talk through it and talk constructively, and I think use our feeling words, it can very easily. We've had a fight over something that was nothing that turned into a big fight about even more nothings. That at the end it was like, I don't know what we were fighting about. Just a bunch of small things that don't matter in 5 years, right?
And I've tried to express my feelings in a non-violent way. Progress. I'm working on it. Maybe don't say things like, you're just a complete prick. What changed our mind about marriage?
Oh, man. What did change your mind about
Things have just been going so well that we thought, let's just spend a bunch of money and declare our love publicly.
All right. I got to be honest with you guys. It's the tax breaks.
What? You left me a note one morning and you said, I love you so much. Let's get married.
Yeah. I just thought it would, I didn't have a good experience with my previous marriage, and neither did you. No, it was not. There was a certificate in the ring, but I don't think it qualified. So I think maybe we just, we let that sour our perception.
Yeah.
And I just figured, like, we just wanted to get married. I mean, I don't think anything changes for us, It's kind of like the fiance thing. I guess, I'll do better with calling you my wife. I'll have to get past the girlfriend thing.
Wife.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I mean, and it helps too, because you have to think with Micah and Jeff, we can have everybody kind of on one name, right?
Yeah.
And kind of have that nuclear family, and that's really important to us too. So
it's really important to Micah.
Yeah.
So Micah is going to be adopted.
Yes.
And that's super exciting, and it's really important to her. As she's gotten older, she's realized, wait, we all have different names.
Yeah.
So I didn't think that I didn't realize that would matter to her, but it does, and we're gonna change that. And even if our relationship doesn't work out, that's your baby.
Yeah.
You know, what made you realize you loved Reese? That dick.
But dude, it's the truth, man. Throwing that pipe like Mario Brothers.
Get out.
Know it. Like I had a job. Like I was trying to get a scholarship.
He's so funny.
Some of it was the physical portion, absolutely. But
He makes me feel calm and safe, and like, he's my best friend. I can go to him with any problem. When something goes great, he's the first person I want to call. When something's wrong, he's the first person I want to call. And that's what I noticed, you know?
Yeah. I think that's true for both of us, you know, vice versa.
Would Reese get your name tattooed on you?
Man. I'm trying to get a tattoo removed right now.
I'm on the life insurance.
I'm not, I'm not against it if we found like an elegant way of, because I'm trying to get a horrible, it's not like a no fear tattoo. I don't have barbed wire, but it's a really dated tribal tattoo on my
Just show
arm.
him. Now you gotta show him. How many sessions have we had?
Oh, 4 or 5 now. So
4 or 5 tattoo removal
yeah.
sessions.
And I got it when I was young, and it's been inked over. I don't even know if I want to go in the story, but anyway, so it's, you know,
So it's so sexy.
yeah, it's, so if I get that off, you know, and if I'm wanting to try to do a sleeve, we could probably work it in there. I think it'd be fun.
He's gonna do a sleeve.
I'm not telling anybody at work either. I'm just showing up with it. Like, what do you mean? I've had this the whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and a sleeve. I can't handle it. Whew. Okay. How do you guys navigate fights? I tell him when he's being a douchebag, and I'm basically perfect.
There we go.
We try to communicate how the other person has made us feel, and we try to use our words. And I also want to put in here that therapy is not for failing relationships, that therapy can be very helpful all throughout your relationship, and we need to end that stigma.
Yeah.
But we're trying.
Therapy shouldn't be the Hail Mary either. You know what I mean?
No. It is not, relationships are not easy, marriage is not easy, so get into therapy. It definitely helps. I think everyone needs therapy. Everyone needs someone to talk to that they can trust, that, you know, under court order,
I think you can talk to, that you can trust, and that can give you an objective third party. Yeah, that's what it is.
Are you guys going to have more children? This has been asked to us so many times. I think we're going to maybe do a full video on opening up about our infertility. We started with secondary infertility. But please stop asking us that. Thanks. How do you guys stay so supportive of each other?
Supportive, like in general, or like supportive of the sobriety, or professionally? That's a broad topic.
Yeah. My recovery changed. My career changed. You know, so I've had a lot of change in my life pretty quickly in you know, terms of how long we've been together. So how has like the change in all of that affected you?
Straight off, I'll start with this. Jessica is a much better cheerleader than I am. And I know that, right? And she's always been my cheerleader, and always been very quick to be there and be supportive of me. And, you know, and I think that in turn, part of the struggle that we had with our relationship is I didn't reciprocate that, you know, and Jessica we kind of fell into this trap, and, you know, and I was guilty of, you know, I'm from a very Southern family, you know, and the, you know, gender stereotypes run very true through that. And I'm not saying that I specifically, I never told Jessica I wanted a housewife or a girl that stayed home. I wanted her to have, you know, something of her own, you know, a hobby, passion, a career, whatever it might be. But, you know, very early, you know, she stayed home, went back to school. We had Riley, and it went several years, and I just got used to that. And then when she started to become successful and get excited about stuff, and it was especially something that I didn't understand, you know, like YouTube and you know, internet monetization and how to become proactive in the recovery community. I didn't get that, you know what I mean? So it was hard for me to be a cheerleader, and I wasn't very respectful of that. So it caused some problems in our relationship. I've tried to do a much better job and, you know, and be engaging with her and listen to her when she talks about her wins, you know, and some things like that. So I think she's always done a good job. I've just always kind of sucked at it. So I'm trying to get better.
I really appreciate that you brought up the subconscious stereotype that you had with these gender roles. Mm-hmm. You know, you're 40, you know, so gender roles to you are different than gender roles are today.
Oh yeah,
for younger people.
drastically.
I'm from New York. I don't understand gender roles. You know, like I always thought that I would take care of myself, provide for myself, have a career. You can do both.
Yeah.
You can have kids, you can stay home. I used to not understand the difficulty of staying home. If you're a stay-at-home parent, you are working multiple full-time jobs. It is hard. And I've done both. I've been a parent outside of the home, I've been a parent inside of the home. It is really hard. And for me, I always thought that I would just do both after Micah, you know? And I can't even tell you, like, it's been tough for me to be comfortable in my own roles, you know? So I like that you brought up the gender role thing, and now we try to meet each other halfway. You know, he will try to pick up my slack, and I'll try to pick up his slack, and we're a genuine team where we haven't always been a team.
No.
Yeah.
Except in that, again, it's because professionally, personally, your relationship, everything evolves, needs change. And what happens is people don't talk about those things as you go along. You get stuck in that old box instead of redefining it, right?
Good question. Good question. Good answer.
I just want to know what y'all's favorite thing about each other is. Okay, what's your favorite thing about me?
Gosh.
Well, don't take too long.
There's a lot to pick from here. I think at first, you know, what really was my favorite thing about you, which is I think still very true, is, you know, you're very authentic. You represent, you know, what I think is challenging, and we talked about stereotypes, a very strong, independent, you know, woman. And I think that you very much know who you are, what you're doing, and how you're going to get there. And you have an unwavering ability to execute on those things. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah. I love how hardworking and passionate you are. I love how smart you are. I fell in love with how smart this man is, you know, and
do I look smart?
No, you look like a gym bro. I'm going to drink the protein and lift the weights. And that's why I didn't go out on a date with him.
I snuck attack her. She didn't see that coming. You know?
Whoa, he loves Star Wars? Like, what?
Once I got her with that and then the D, boom, it was game over. Game over.
He just looks like he wants to talk about his gains and, like, protein, and that's not my interest. Yeah. So he's so much smarter than that, and I was so excited. Does Reese genuinely enjoy being in videos?
That was a good question. Yes, I don't mind the amount of airtime I get. I don't want to do it full time.
Yes.
So I'm cool with being a semi-featured project or a semi-featured guest on some of your channels, but I wouldn't want to do it all the time.
What are both of your love languages? We just took the test before this video. Do you want to tell them? They were the same. They had like 5 categories that it breaks it up into, and ours were the same. Primary, secondary, third, they were exact same. Exact same. Words of affirmation, and then acts of service.
Acts of service.
Time,
gifts, and then physical touch. Physical touch being last for both of us.
It was exactly the same.
The percentages were very close too, yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah.
They told me in AA/NA that it's not a good idea for 2 members to be together. First of all, I know plenty of people that were in recovery that are now together and successful and happy and sober. Mm-hmm. Second, I personally do not believe in many of the traditions of NA/AA. While I am grateful for it because it has saved some of my closest family members and friends, I don't participate in the program, and I don't believe in some of the shame that comes along with that sometimes. And I believe in every pathway to recovery, and oftentimes in AA it's abstinence based. And I personally don't believe in that. So if you are successful in your recovery and...
I can see why that's a rule though, 100%. I can see why it's not a rule.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. I can see why it's a thing. I really can.
It's valid.
Yeah.
Because the idea here is that one person is going to make the other person relapse. That's the idea. And I know that has happened.
Yeah.
But these are just guidelines, and suggestions, not like laws, right? Yeah. So
you can do whatever you want to do, man.
Always have a support team, and just be very aware of your recovery. It does take time and work, especially to be sound and stable and confident in your own recovery. So I like one of the things where they're like, don't date right away. I think that's important too. But I can name you a dozen couples that I know that dated right away and they're successful. Tiffany Jenkins is one of them.
Yeah. And you think there's layers or elements to our relationship that if, you can say it, we didn't date right away. Jessica was 2 years sober, and I just had 6 months sober. We didn't move in right away. We dated. We saw each other. There's things that we did that allowed us to be successful as two recovering addicts entering a relationship. That I think that otherwise, when they talk about the boyfriend and girlfriend that are trying to get sober together, I think that's probably, if I had to say that, I think that's a bad idea. You know what I mean? Because it's a selfish game. So.
They want to know what you are contributing to the wedding planning. Because they only see the vlogs that I do.
Oh, I picked the taco truck.
Picked the taco truck. Hired the wedding planner.
That was my deal.
You know what your tux is going to be.
I know my tux will be. I've
helped with the guest list.
Helps with the guest list. I've signed some of the contracts or agreed. Because Jessica, it's not her bag, and she's like, I don't really know how to read this or if it's something we want to sign. So I'll review those and kind of make some adjustments if I think that's necessary.
Yeah.
And then we tried to split money wise. I mean, just, 50-50, because there's some upfront cost to reserve. Yeah, I picked the taco truck. Come on. Yeah. I'm in this thing.
Yes, he is. He really is. And for me, I'd go to the courthouse. But that's not what we're doing. We're going to be fancy.
I think, and we wanted an event, right?
We're bougie.
Yeah, I'm a little bougie.
I'm hood.
Yeah, but, and then we wanted an event. We thought it would be neat and to have it our way, right? And then to have a honeymoon. So I think that, it's just, I don't know. I picked a taco truck. That's all I know. I picked that truck.
I do want to end the video with saying it's not always easy. It's not always perfect. For years, I had a lot of bitterness and resentment for Reese because he was working outside of the home and I felt as though I was stuck or that he wasn't helping me and we were in these gender roles that I didn't agree with. And, I was struggling with my recovery and I was struggling with my mental health.
And I think I want to throw in there too, my PTSD plays a factor in our relationship and my personal life, but for mental health, I never really understood depression, anxiety and some of the things that Jessica has to be very cognizant and aware of. And we never brought those to the forefront. My PTSD, we were upfront about. I didn't understand some of the things that, that were an issue for Jessica, or they were a focal point. And so I was very dismissive, like, oh, you're just always having a bad day. You know what I mean? Where I get up at 4 a.m. and I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? But that's a real thing. You know what I mean?
And I think too, with becoming a parent, I'm a night owl. And I can't be because we have kids, so I have to work during the day. I'm more creative at night. So now I'm just a permanently exhausted pigeon because I can't whatever.
You said it's not always easy.
So mentally for me, that's a struggle. And that's why I'm so grateful to be an entrepreneur because I can set my own schedule. Working is just tough and the schedule with the kids has always been tough for me mentally. Then dealing with depression and PTSD, which I wasn't always super vocal or even aware about within myself when we started dating.
Yeah.
I didn't believe that my labor and delivery with Micah was as traumatic as it was. I thought I could move on. I thought that, okay, this is over. You're going to get her back now. It's going to be okay. But that trauma doesn't just go away. So I tried to outwork my trauma by staying so busy that I couldn't even focus on it. And that doesn't work. So I thought the problem has resolved itself. There's no need for therapy. Just go to the tattoo shop.
Yeah.
Bruh, no. But I do want to say that it's not always easy. We do have hard days and it is a lot of work for us, but I don't want to be with anyone else.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend my life with anyone else. And I'm so in love with Reese and I want to be with him and it's worth fighting for.
Yeah. You have to decide. You're either all in, and if you're not, then that's another discussion, right? Yeah. So if you're all in, you're going to find a way to make it work. You really will.
Love you.
Love you too.
Look, he's getting so salt and peppery.
I know.
He had no salt and pepper.
I know. When we met, some old pictures we dug up, awful lot of darkness in my beard.
Just 3 years ago, there was no gray.
I'll be another year, and I'm sure I won't be Santa Claus, but I'll be pretty gray.
Dear men, please keep the gray. Sincerely, grown-ass women. We like it. All right, I'm going to end today's video here. As always, I love you guys. Stay safe, stay in recovery, work on that relationship if you want to. If not, you know, be honest with yourself because life's too short to be unhappy.
Absolutely.
Bye, you guys.